I think the other thing that's really important that we did pretty well at Mercury is give very good investor updates. Every 2 months, I would write, even before we launched, like there wasn't that much to say, but I was like, hey, this is what we worked with in the last 2 months. This is our goal for the next 2 months. When we launched, we was like, obviously metrics and all of that kind of stuff. Investors really appreciated that. I kept them up to date on it, and it kept everyone invested, right? Ironically, but like if sometimes I invest in something and then they don't tell me anything about it for a year. And then they come a year later and they're like, oh, can you help me with X or Y? And I'm like, I don't I kind of remember what you do, but you haven't told me anything for a year. And like, I don't know what's up. Like, why should I spend time figuring out? I try to be helpful, but it's just not as compelling. Whereas if someone's giving me like these thorough updates for the last year, and then they're like, oh, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? I'm like, of course, like I think that's just human nature. So I think that's actually the key. And the other thing that was interesting is at the top of every investor update, I always have asks. I'll be like, can you help me hire this person? Or have you seen this? Or can you introduce me to this? And the interesting thing is if you have 60 investors is, maybe each of them will only do one of the asks once a year, but that's still like 10 responses to every ask you have, basically. Investors want to be helpful, but you have to give them the tools to like actually be helpful.